I've been doing both for a long time. Before I moved to Los Angeles, I was living in Tucson, Arizona, doing theater and paying bills any way I could. I had a stint as an assistant teacher to 4- and 5-year-olds. I sold mattresses in the Tucson Mall. But I wanted to bartend, and I wanted to have the skill and some experience so that when I moved to Los Angeles, I could support myself with a night job. I went to every bar in town, and no one would hire me. Then one day, my buddy Tom, who was attending the University of Arizona, says, "I think I solved your problem." And he hands me a University of Arizona school newspaper. In it, there is an ad. It reads, "Bartender wanted, no experience necessary, apply within." The Stonewall Eagle, and the address. The walk to my parking spot from the entrance of the bar was about 40 feet of desert sand. It was about noon on a Monday and it was summertime. It was hot, very hot and bright. My eyes wouldn't stop watering. When I opened the door, I took a step inside, and for a moment the sunlight filled the dark room, and just as if you were taking pictures with a flash at night, I scanned the entire silhouetted room in less than a second as the door slammed behind me. I stood there frozen in my tracks for what felt like an eternity. The darkness of the bar was so overwhelming I couldn't move. I saw nothing. Probably wasn't much more than 30 seconds or so, but it felt like a lifetime. After my eyes adjusted, I took in the scenery. It was a dive bar, pretty cool in a broken down country town sort of way. It had 2 pool tables, a dart machine, a jukebox, and all the seating around the room was bales of hay. The entire floor was covered in hay. It had charm. There were a couple of old guys drinking at the bar, but other than that, the bar was empty. With paper in hand, I stepped up to the bartender and I said, "Hey, I'm here for the job." He disappeared behind the bar. And one of the old men who was drinking next to me looked at me and smiled and said, "You're cute." I smiled and said thanks. I thought to myself, what a strange thing to say. And then it hit me. Oh my God, I'm in a gay bar. Oh my God, I am applying for a job in a gay bar, and the wheels are already in motion. The bartender's back there talking to the manager about talking to me, and what the fuck am I gonna do? How am I gonna get out of here? I had never even been in a gay bar before. I had gay friends, but I don't know what happens in gay bars. Just then, the manager walks out, he glances over at me, and says, "You're hired." My heart was pounding. "Coming on Wednesday and train," he says. So I went home and I told my roommates, and they were like, "Yeah, whatever, man, take the job. You can always quit if you don't like it." So I showed up on Wednesday in the required uniform, shorts and a tank top. My first week was interesting. I worked the 11 to 7 shift. It was slow and easy to learn during the day. It was really awkward at first, being in this environment, watching men flirt with each other, with me. It didn't bother me, per se. It was just awkward. If someone said something flirty to me, I took it as a compliment and smiled and said thanks. But I saw things I had never seen before. There were drag queens and trannies and drug addicts. It was like an adventure every day. On my 4th shift, these 3 30-something-year-old guys walked in the bar. They were obviously drunk. I wasn't sure what I should do, if I should serve them or not. It was about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. There was maybe 10 or 12 other people, customers at the bar at the time. I looked towards my manager, who informed me they all worked at a different gay bar in town, and it was one of their birthdays, and they were just celebrating. "Don't worry, he'll stay with me in case things escalated out of control." They ordered shots and drinks and put the jukebox on and started mock parading and making out with each other. The old fellows at the bar loved it. They were clapping and throwing dollar bills at them, and of course the guys, being inspired as they were, started stripping. They started taking off their shirts and swinging them overhead, and one by one they got in the bar and danced shirtless. I was hiding at the other end of the bar at this point. I called my buddy Tom and I was like, "Man, you gotta get down here." And he came down and he sat in the corner of the bar with a newspaper in front of his face. They asked me to grab a bottle of schnapps and bring it down to their end of the bar. They ordered shots for the entire bar, including me, of course. So we all did a shot, and then one of the guys dropped his pants. Just like that, he just dropped his pants. Everyone started hooting and hollering, screaming, and egging him on. I started sweating, immediately, cold sweating, like, whoa. And I look at my manager, who just has the biggest grin on his face. He's obviously not going to stop them, so I felt like some sort of like hazing or initiation, like let's see how far we can push this straight guy kind of thing. In retrospect, I now know what was about to happen had never, in fact, happened before, and to my knowledge has never happened since. My manager went and stood by the front door on the off chance that police decided to show up that day. Obviously, it would have been shut down if that were to happen. The naked guy had kind of an orangey spray tan and nothing left on except his white high-top leather Rivas and ankle socks. He lays down on the bar on his back and grabs his junk, and on the upstroke, pulls the foreskin up the shaft, forming a little foreskin cup, and asked me to pull the butterscotch shots into his cup. I was so nervous, I was shaking, I couldn't even bring myself to look. I was getting it all over, stuffing it, I was getting it everywhere but his cup. Finally I got it in there, and then one of the guys jumped off the bar and did the shot out of his penis. And then every other of the 12 or so people at the bar got in line to do their cup shots. I had to literally sit there and pour shot after shot in this dude's foreskin. After the shots, the three guys went and they got on the pool table and they did a blowjob train just so that everyone else just sat there, watched and drank. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. All I could think of was, what would I possibly say if my mother... Eventually, it was over. I counted my money, I went home, I grabbed a beer, I told the boys at home about the cock shots. We laughed. I made more money in those 4 shifts than my roommate made in his 50-hour-a-week lawyer gig. I worked at the Stonewall Eagle for the next 2 years. I got my experience, I moved to Los Angeles. It took some time, but I finally landed a job at this little corner bar in Silver Lake. That was 18 years ago. I'm still a bartender, and I'm still an actor following his dreams. I wouldn't be able to do that with my act bar family. And none of this would have happened. Wasn't a cock shot! None of this would have happened if Tom didn't bring me that University of Arizona paper, or if he didn't go to school there, or if he didn't apply to school there, or if he didn't get over a certain score on his SATs, or if he didn't finish high school. But he did. Sometimes that ball gets rolling and it can't be stopped. I guess some things are just meant to be.